Hello and welcome to the Resource Nexus podcast. Today, we'll be diving into the coaching carousel and breaking down our rankings of the hires. In the coming days, we will have an article drop on the resourcenexus.com, so keep an eye out for that. Most of the positions have been filled. I wanted to get this episode out now, and if Maryland makes a hire or sparks some dominoes, we'll circle back and add them to the discussion. So let's dive into my thoughts on the latest coaching moves. For this year's breakdown, I'm taking a slightly different approach than other podcasts. Instead of just evaluating hires in a vacuum, I'm ranking these coaches based on how I'd prioritize them if I were an athletic director making a hire. Essentially, who would be my top choice? And here's what that means. If you see a mid-major hire ranked high, it means I think they absolutely nailed it, an A-plus hire. On the other hand, if a big-name school made a hire that's lower on my list, well, let's just say I'm not buying the hype. Now, obviously, a school's resources and prestige play a role in a coach's success, but for this ranking, let's strip all that away. Imagine we're hiring for a totally average program, decent history, middle-of-the-pack resources, solid fan support, and an average NIL setup. The real question is, who do I want leading that program for the next 5 years? Age isn't really a factor here. This is purely about coaching ability. Here's what I'm looking for. First, a coach's track record matters. Success at a high level is great, but even experience at lower levels, D2, wherever, can translate well if the results are there. My research shows that coaching ability tends to carry over, regardless of level. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of lower-level coaches getting hired this season, unlike last year when Ben McCollum and several others moved up. That's somewhat of a failure in my opinion. Second, I value adaptability, specifically a coach's willingness to attack the transfer portal. Like it or not, this is the future. Coaches who embrace it are going to thrive. Those who don't, well, let's just say they might find themselves falling behind. Finally, I have a lot of respect for coaches who climb the ladder the hard way. The ones who didn't just ride connections or land a cushy job next to a Hall of Famer at North Carolina, Duke, or Kansas. Almost anyone can look good sitting beside a legend. I want to see a coach who built their success through actual coaching ability. So, with that in mind, let's get into the rankings. Ben McCollum, Iowa. McCollum, 43, is now the head coach of Iowa basketball, following an illustrious career at Northwest Missouri State. He played at Northwest Missouri State before becoming an assistant at Emporia State and later taking over as head coach at Northwest in 2009. Over 15 seasons, McCollum led the team to 4 NCAA Division II national championships in 2017, 2019, 2021, and 2022, compiling an overall record of 395 and 91. His 2019-2020 team, with a 31-1 record, was primed to win a 5th title in 6 years before the tournament was canceled due to COVID. He moved to Drake in 2024, where he led the Bulldogs to a 31-1 record, an NCAA round of 32 appearance, and a KenPom ranking of 53rd before taking over at Iowa. His overall coaching record stands at 426-95. He had the benefit of bringing 4 starters from his top Division II team, and he absolutely knocked it out of the park. Now, at Iowa, he'll also get the benefit of bringing star guard Bennett Sturtz with him, which should help him get off to a great start. Sturtz will be running the show and playing 39 minutes a game again, steadying the ship. It's possible that Iowa and the Big Ten might be too large of a leap, but I don't think so. There's some risk, sure, but winning 4 Division II titles in 5 years, and likely 5 and 6 if not for COVID, is elite stuff. Even without that 31-4 season at Drake where he dominated with mostly Division II starters, this is the kind of upside hire that could cut down nets. He might just be that good, and in my opinion, if you have the opportunity, you don't pass on him. 2. Will Wade, NC State. Wade, 41, is the head coach at North Carolina State University, following a diverse and successful coaching career. Wade started as a student manager at Clemson before moving into assistant coaching roles at Harvard and VCU. In 2013, he became the head coach at Chattanooga, leading the team to its first 20-plus win season in a decade and earning Southern Conference Coach of the Year honors in 2014. He then took over at VCU in 2015, guiding the Rams to an Atlantic 10 title and multiple NCAA tournament appearances. From 2017 to 2022, Wade served as head coach at LSU, where he led the Tigers to an SEC championship and a Sweet 16 appearance. In 2023, he took the reins at McNeese State and led them to their first ever NCAA tournament win in 2025. For our purposes, what he did at McNeese State in this era of free transfers and NIL is the most impressive part. Finishing in the top 70 both years, that's serious coaching. Wade's overall coaching record stands at 246-105 with 9 straight KenPom top 70 finishes. North Carolina State can be one of the strongest jobs in the nation, in my opinion. Great recruiting base, great place to live and work, solid resources, and with Wade at the helm, I expect them to be in top 25 contention most years. He seems like the safest high-upside coach hired this offseason. He's won at lower levels. He's had top 25 teams in the SEC. Hard to mess this one up. Plus, players are getting paid in the open today, so that concern pretty much gone. 3. Sean Miller, Texas. Miller, 56, is the head coach at the University of Texas at Austin, following a distinguished career at Xavier and Arizona. Miller's head coaching journey began at Xavier from 2004 to 2009, where he led the Musketeers to 5 NCAA tournament appearances, including an Elite Eight run in 2008. He then moved to Arizona, coaching from 2009 to 2021. During that time, he won 3 Pac-12 titles and made 4 Elite Eight appearances. Miller is a 3-time gold medalist with USA Basketball as a player, assistant coach, and head coach, and has won 5 Coach of the Year awards, spanning the Atlantic 10, Pac-12, and USA Basketball. After returning to Xavier for the 2022 to 2025 seasons, he took the Musketeers to the Sweet 16 in 2023. He's been to 4 Elite Eights, including 1 while at Xavier in the Atlantic 10. Now, Xavier fans might be mad about this move, but let's be real, Texas is one of the best jobs in the nation with some of the best resources. I think you have to make this move. This is the best job, and they probably landed the best resume available on the market. That said, I'm still not sure he's the best college basketball coach in 2025. Maybe. But he was at a blue blood type program and missed the tournament 3 years before he was fired. Never made a Final Four either. So, is he elite? Debatable, but in terms of resume, Texas might have made the best hire they could. 4. Ryan Odom, Virginia. Odom, 50, is the head coach of the Virginia Cavaliers men's basketball team, a position he assumed in March 2025. Odom has built a strong coaching career, previously coaching the UMBC Retrievers, Utah State Aggies, and VCU Rams, and he led each program to the NCAA tournament by his second season, with his biggest achievement coming in 2018 when his UMBC team became the first number 16 seed to defeat a number 1 seed in NCAA tournament history, that same Virginia. Odom was named the Hugh Durham National Coach of the Year in 2018 and the America East Coach of the Year in 2021. As a career coaching record stands at 222-127. He never really had great rankings at UMBC, but he had top 35 teams at both Utah State and VCU. That shows he can win in multiple situations. This hire is solid, but I could see some downside. I considered Pitino instead, but Odom hasn't had down seasons when he's gotten to a level of job where he could win, so that wins out. 5. Richard Pitino, Xavier. Pitino Jr., 42, is the head coach of the Xavier Musketeers men's basketball team starting in 2025. He previously served as head coach at Minnesota from 2013 to 2021 and New Mexico from 2021 to 2025. Pitino's coaching career includes a notable NIT championship in 2014 with Minnesota. He posted an overall record of 141 and 123 at Minnesota, with a 54 and 96 conference record. But overall, they fared much better than they have most of the century. His last 3 seasons there, he finished 62nd, 27th, and 46th with an NCAA appearance, including winning a game in the tournament. I think it was a mistake firing Pitino, and he went on to redeem himself. At New Mexico, Pitino led the Lobos to multiple postseason appearances, including an NCAA round of 64 and a round of 32 appearance in 2024 and 2025. His New Mexico coaching record stands at 88 and 49, with top 40 finishes in his last 2 seasons. Pitino's overall coaching record is 229 and 172. This is a very good hire for Xavier. 6. Ross Hodge, West Virginia. Hodge, 44, previously led North Texas to a 27-8 record in 2025, finishing second in the conference and reaching the NIT in both years with top 75 finishes. Both rosters he had to completely rebuild, and stated it was like being in JUCO again, where he was also very successful. From what I've gathered, they had less than $300,000 in NIL, which makes it even more impressive. Hodge's coaching career also includes stints as an associate head coach at North Texas from 2017 to 2023 and Arkansas State from 2016 to 2017, both under Grant McCasland, along with assistant roles at Southern Miss and Colorado State. Prior to NCAA coaching, Hodge thrived at the junior college level, posting an 83 and 17 record at Paris Junior College, including a run from Elite 8. He then went 63 and 7 at Midland College, finishing as the NJCAA Division I runner-up in 2000 and 2011. I actually think West Virginia may have gotten a better coach, even losing DeVries. 7. Darian DeVries, Indiana. 49, previously served as the head coach at Drake University from 2018 to 2024, posting an impressive 150 and 55 record, including a 79 and 33 conference mark. DeVries led Drake to multiple NCAA tournament appearances, including a round of 64 finish in 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. In 2024, DeVries briefly coached at West Virginia, finishing likely should have been a tournament team. His overall coaching career stands at 169 and 68. While this is a solid hire, some of the success can be attributed to his high-level recruit son, who likely never goes to Drake. Also, his first season got off to a great start, essentially from an assistant bringing in 4 JUCO teammates and friends. Good hire, but some risk, I believe, as well. 8. Eric Olen, New Mexico. Olen, 44, previously was the head coach at UC San Diego from 2013 to 2025, where he built a strong record of 240 and 119, including a 158 and 79 conference mark, taking UCSD from D2 to D1. Olen guided UC San Diego to numerous postseason appearances, including NCAA Division, 2 West Region final appearances in 2015, 2016, and 2017, as well as a round of 64 finish in 2024. His success continued with a CBI first-round appearance in 2023 and 2024, and a solid 30-5 record in his final season, finishing 39th in KenPom. Very impressive and likely a hard choice to leave a place he had been an assistant or head coach since 2004. 9. Kevin Willard, Villanova. Willard, 49. What a mess he stepped in. Self-inflicted. It wasn't a good look to criticize your employer, but it didn't seem to hold him back. He previously served as the head coach at Seton Hall from 2010 to 2022, where he compiled a 225 and 161 overall record, and led the Pirates to multiple NCAA tournament appearances. Willard also coached at Iona from 2007 to 2010, where he posted a 45-49 record. After joining Maryland in 2022, he posted a 65-39 record, including a Sweet 16 appearance. His overall coaching record stands at 335-249. With Willard, I think you have a floor of 45 type of rank and NCAA tourneys most years, but I'm not sure what the ceiling is. He's coached 15 years in the Big East and Big Ten, and this 11th place Sweet 16 finish is the best. 5 top 50 finishes in Ken Pom in 15 years, and 2 previous tourney wins. Solid, but not spectacular. You're betting on the job itself elevating the results with a little more competence. I'm not sure Nova is actually that level of job and that their eliteness wasn't just Jay Wright. 10 Niko Medved, Minnesota. Medved, 51. Before Minnesota, he was head coach at Colorado State from 2018 to 2025, where he achieved a 143-85 record, including a round of 32nd appearance in the 2024 NCAA tournament. Medved also coached at Drake University in 2017 and 2018, posting a 17-17 record, and at Furman, where he went 62-70. His overall coaching record stands at 222-172. Medved did a solid job at Colorado State, winning a game and finishing top 45 in Ken Pom 3 of the last 4 years. 11. Bryan Hodgson, South Florida. Hodgson, 37, is the current head coach of the South Florida Bulls men's basketball team. He previously served as head coach at Arkansas State, where he turned the program around significantly. In his 2 seasons, 2023 and 2025, Hodgson led Arkansas State to a 45-28 record, improving from a near 300th ranked team to 135th in his first year and 90th in his second. Under his leadership, Arkansas State reached the CBI semifinals in 2023 to 2024 and the NIT second round in 2025. Prior to his head coaching role, Hodgson was an assistant at Alabama when they were first in the nation. The USF job is unassuming, but one that, beyond Memphis and Gonzaga, is likely the top-paying mid-major with lots of resources. I expect this works well for both. 12 Eric Henderson Drake. Henderson, 46, is the head coach of the Drake Bulldogs men's basketball team. Prior to this, he was the head coach at South Dakota State from 2019 to 2025, where he posted a 129-60 record, including an impressive 76-20 mark in conference play. Henderson led the Jackrabbits to multiple Summit League titles and NCAA appearances with standout seasons, including a 30-5 record in 2022, where they earned a round of 64 spot. He also led South Dakota State to appearances in 2021, 2023, and 2024. Henderson recruited impressive players like Baylor Shireman to South Dakota. That's perhaps the most impressive aspect to me, getting players to a place like that. He's been solid, but only one top 110 finish in 6 years. That was the 80th. 13, Bryan Peterson, South Dakota. Peterson, 37, an internal hire, spent 6 seasons as head coach of the Kirkwood Community College men's basketball program. He led the program to the 2016 and 2019 JUCO Division II championships while compiling a 157-38 overall record. He earned regional and national Coach of the Year honors in both national championship seasons. He coached 4 JUCO All-Americans and saw future Jackrabbit Douglas Wilson, who eventually went on to become the 2020 Summit League Player of the Year, and earned 3 All-Summit League nods, named 2 National Player of the Year in 2018 to 2019. I like any coach demonstrating head coaching success. Even winning at the D2 2 national titles show something. I think South Dakota State landed on its feet nicely with this internal promotion, basically having a coaching in waiting. Very smart to have the head coach experience, but also less transition. 14. Fran McCaffery, Penn. McCaffery, 65, is the head coach at the University of Pennsylvania, following a long and successful career at several universities. McCaffery started his head coaching career at Lehigh University from 1985 to 1988, followed by stints at UNC Greensboro from 1999 to 2005, Siena from 2005 to 2008-2010, and Iowa from 2010 to 2025. He led each of these programs to the NCAA tournament at least once, with notable success at Siena, where he guided the team to 2 NCAA tournament appearances, round of 32 finishes. At Iowa, McCaffery reached the NCAA tournament multiple times and had a strong overall record. His career coaching record stands at 548 and 384. That's a lot of experience. I think this is a great hire for Penn, and McCaffery still has some left in the tank. Obviously, the forced retirement was something he was never going to go for. 15. Phil Martelli Jr., VCU. Martelli Jr., 43, is the current head coach of the VCU Rams. Martelli began his coaching career as an assistant at Central Connecticut from 2003 to 2005 before moving on to Manhattan from 2005 to 2006, Niagara from 2006 to 2011, and Delaware from 2011 to 2016. He also spent time as an assistant with the Delaware 87ers from 2016 to 2017. Martelli was the associate head coach at Bryant from 2018 to 2023, before becoming the head coach there in 2023. During his time at Bryant, he achieved a 43-25 record, including leading the team to a first-place finish in the 2025 season and an NCAA 64 appearance. He moved to VCU in 2025. I thought originally this was one of the weaker hirings, but he's got some head coaching experience, has put in the time, and will bring his father to help him get off to a good start. I could see this working out well. 16. Alex Jensen, Utah. Jensen, 48, at St. Louis. After 4 seasons, Jensen became the first head coach of the Canton Charge in the NBA Development League, where he earned Coach of the Year honors in 2013. He joined the Utah Jazz as a player development assistant in 2013 before working with the Germany national team as an assistant coach in 2015. In 2022, Jensen led Team USA to victory in the AmeriCup as head coach. After a brief stint with the Dallas Mavericks, he returned to Utah as head coach. This one seems to mimic rival Utah, but overall, I'm okay with this one. You should give alums a chance if they are qualified for jobs like this. They are more likely to be there long term. He's coached with Rick Majerus, has the NBA experience, and has some G League head coaching experience to be deserving, but it certainly comes with risk for a Power 5 job to have no college head coaching experience. The G League head coaching and more experience at 48 make this a better hire than a couple of the other options with just NBA-type resumes. 17. Ryan Miller, Murray State. Miller, 49, is the head coach of Murray State University men's basketball. A South Dakota native, he played professionally in the CBA and the Australian Basketball Association, where he won a championship and MVP honors. Miller's coaching career includes assistant roles at Memphis, Pepperdine, New Mexico, Auburn, UNLV, and TCU. The biggest job, however, was at Creighton, where he was for the last 4 years. I'm sure seeing High Point's success with Alan Huss influenced this hire, and perhaps it can work out. Murray State has had a lot of coaches who have won, but the move to the MVC is a tougher ask. 18. Quannas White, Louisiana. White, 44, began as a graduate assistant at Oklahoma in 2003. He then served as head coach of the Louisiana Dynasty AAU team from 2005 to 2014. He later worked as an assistant coach at Tulane, Western Kentucky, and Houston, where he was promoted to associate head coach in 2023 and has currently helped lead them to the Final Four. This is a good signing if he can bring the Houston style of play with him. 19th, Darius Nichols, LaSalle. Nichols, 38, before his tenure at LaSalle was the head coach at Radford University, where he posted a 68-63 record. Nichols led Radford to a CBI semifinal appearance in 2023 and a fourth-place finish in the Big South Conference in 2025. He does have a 151st and 168th finish in KenPom over the 4 seasons, which is respectable. He previously was at Florida. 20, Matt Braeuer, Stephen F. Austin. Braeuer, 38, is the head coach of the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks basketball team. A Belton, Texas native, he was a standout player at Wichita State, earning all-state honors in high school and starting 3 years as a point guard in college. Braeuer began his coaching career as a graduate assistant at Wichita State in 2008, then held assistant roles at Midland College, Maryland, Sam Houston State, and Charleston. In 2018, he joined Grant McCaslin's staff at North Texas and followed him to Texas Tech before being hired as head coach at Stephen F. Austin in 2025. Basically, McCaslin doesn't have bums on his staff. I think he has the best staff in the country the last few years with Hodge, Dave Smart, Barnwell, and Linder. I expect this to be a solid hire as far as assistants go. 21. Ryan Pannone, Arkansas State. Pannone is 40 and most recently an assistant at Alabama and with the Pelicans in the NBA and overseas leagues before that. Arkansas State hit a home run off the Alabama staff last time and is returning to the well. 22nd, Luke Laux, Florida State. Age 35, a former Florida State player from 2008 to 2012, had a professional career in Europe and the NBA Development League before transitioning to coaching. He worked with the Golden State Warriors from 2016 to 2021, serving as a player development coach, and later joined the Sacramento Kings as an assistant coach from 2022 to 2025. In 2025, he returned to his alma mater to lead the Seminoles. This is also a relatively disappointing hire for the level of job it can be or should be. With this one, however, at least I understand the thinking. He's an alum, and a very young one. It's possible he could stay and build something here, maybe for 40 years, if all goes well. That has some intrinsic value, at least, in a way the Lewis hire doesn't, as a comparable. I do think at this level of job there is value in giving us chances when perhaps they might not look to leave as quickly. 23rd, Kevin Hovde, Columbia. Hovde, 36, began his coaching career as the director of basketball operations at Columbia in 2011, later becoming an assistant coach. After a stint at San Francisco, where he worked under Kyle Smith and later Todd Golden, Hovde returned to Richmond as an assistant in 2021 and joined Florida's staff in 2022. In 2025, he was named head coach at Columbia, succeeding Jim Ingles, the first of 3 hired coaches this cycle who were players at Richmond in 2011, Kevin Hovde, Zach Chu, and Dan Jerriot. Who knew? You just needed to play for the coaching legend that is Chris Mooney and get all the wisdom, and you'll be well on your way to becoming a D1 head coach, coming from the cradle of coaches that is Richmond, the coaching hotbed in this cycle. Hovde seems to be the best of the 3, in my opinion, coming from Florida. Jai Lucas, Miami. Lucas, age 36. Lucas played college basketball for the Texas Longhorns before transitioning to coaching. He started his coaching career at Texas under Rick Barnes and later worked as a special assistant and lead recruiter for John Calipari at Kentucky. Lucas earned recognition as one of the top recruiters in the country before joining Duke as an assistant coach under John Shire. He's also the son of longtime NBA coach John Lucas. That all sounds great, but I'm skeptical when your biggest accolades are recruiting to places like Duke, Kentucky, and Texas, which recruit themselves, at least for a starter job at this level. I think you have to expect some own-the-job training. I really thought this would be a higher-level job this cycle, given the location and money. 25, Mike Magpayo, Fordham. Magpayo, 45, made history in 2020 as the first NCAA Division I men's basketball head coach of full Asian heritage. He previously coached at UC Riverside, leading the team to multiple successful seasons, including a 21-13 record in the 2020-2025 season with an NIT first-round appearance. 89 and 63 overall. The Ken Palm ranks have trended down, unfortunately. The best season was year one at 106th, 217th just 2 years ago, 160th last year. Campbell. Andrzejek, 31, has previously coached at Columbia, San Francisco, Johns Hopkins, Dartmouth, Washington State, and Florida. Andrzejek was named to ESPN's 40 Under 40 list in 2020 and played a key role in Florida's success, including a 30-4 start in the 2025 season and their first SEC title since 2014. Coming from Florida as well, I would have thought he might get a job higher up the ladder given their year, but this seems like the level of job at his age. If you want to speed your career trajectory up, it seems like a tougher job to win at, however, and get players to a remote location and keep them. Many have transferred up in recent years to places like Arizona, San Diego State, and Missouri. 27, Ali Farokhmanesh, Colorado State. Ali Farokhmanesh, 36, is the head coach of Colorado State men's basketball. After a standout college career at Northern Iowa, where he hit a memorable game-winning three-pointer to upset Kansas in 2010, he played professionally in Europe. Farokhmanesh transitioned into coaching, serving as a graduate assistant at Nebraska and later as an assistant at Drake and Colorado State under Niko Medved. In 2025, he became the 21st head coach in Colorado State's history. He's been part of successful teams there, but promoting within in the portal and NIL era seems to have less overall value than it did 5 years ago. The value was in keeping the roster together, and I suspect he still has a lot of turnover. 28, Landon Bussey, Chicago State. Bussey, age 37, previously led Alcorn State from 2020 to 2025, where he secured multiple winning seasons and back-to-back NIT appearances. In 2025, he took over at Chicago State, aiming to build the program in the Northeast Conference. He was also a women's coach for a season at Prairie View A&M. I like this hire. It seems like he got some solid on-the-job training and did pretty well in a difficult situation. For Chicago State, it's a very good hire, winning nearly 70% of his games in the Swakes, going 59-26. 29, Dan Gerio, Iona. Gerio, 36, speaking of the second former Spider, began his coaching career in 2011 as an assistant coach with the Princeton Tigers. He moved to Campbell in 2013, where he served as an assistant coach for the Fighting Camels. In 2015, Gerio transitioned to the NBA, taking on the role of video coordinator with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Over the years, he progressed to an assistant coach and the head coach of the Cavaliers' NBA G League affiliate, the Cleveland Charge. In 2024, Gerio joined the New Orleans Pelicans as an assistant coach. 30, Clint Allard, UCSD. Allard, 38, is a UCSD alum. He spent most of his career playing or coaching under Olen, but what separates this hire is the success they had this year, finishing 39th while moving up from D2 just a few years ago. That is impressive, and I think it's worth trying to keep together. Plus, with a coach who is an alum, it might take a lot to get him to leave. This hire makes a lot of sense in this specific situation. Outside of that, it's less, but I would still grade it highly for the school itself. 31, Zach Chu, Radford. Zach Chu, age 32, the last of the former 2011 University of Richmond players, began his coaching career as a player development intern with the Los Angeles Clippers before serving as an assistant coach for the Texas Legends. Chu later worked in analytics roles with the Dallas Mavericks and Indiana Pacers before becoming the chief strategist for SMU, leading to his first head coaching opportunity at Radford. I can't say I really understand this hire, but maybe he can fundraise or there are other considerations. 32, Josh Pastner, UNLV. Joshua Pastner, age 47, a former player on Arizona's 1997 national championship team, transitioned into coaching, serving as an assistant at Arizona and Memphis, before becoming the head coach at Memphis in 2009. He later led Georgia Tech from 2016 to 2023, earning ACC Coach of the Year honors in 2017. His record, 276 and 187, with 5 NCAA appearances, including a couple of wins. But wow, this was a weird one for a job at the level of UNLV. Apparently they were in a financial crunch and moving resources to football. What I don't get is, if you're going to cheap out at UNLV, why not try to hire a D2 coach or someone with upside? I think we know what Pastner is at this point as a coach and what the ceiling likely is. He finished 151st and 161st in his last 2 years in Ken Pom at Georgia Tech. That wouldn't give me much faith. 33, Ronnie Thomas, Longwood. Ronnie Thomas, age 32, is an American basketball coach and the current head coach of the Longwood Lancers men's basketball team. A former Bridgewater College player, he transitioned into coaching after a brief semi-professional career. Thomas previously served as an assistant at Guilford College and later joined Longwood, where he rose from director of recruiting to assistant coach before being named head coach in 2025. I didn't think there had been enough winning to justify an internal promotion as opposed to looking for outside options, but maybe it will work out. They were 210th there last year and peaked out about 145 on Ken Pom, but did make 2 NCAA appearances out of the last 4. Corey Barnett, Oral Roberts. Barnett, 32, is a former Indiana Hoosiers walk-on who played in 49 games before transitioning into coaching. He started as a graduate assistant at Indiana in 2012 and then spent 6 years at UCLA in various coaching and operations roles. Barnett also served as an assistant coach at Nevada and West Virginia. Oral Roberts is a program that has a track record of success, having reached the Sweet 16 in 2021 and producing coaches like Bill Self. However, this hire seems a bit underwhelming on paper. 35. Phil Cunningham, Louisiana Monroe. Cunningham, 58, was previously the head coach at Troy University from 2013 to 2019, where he led the Trojans to an NCAA tournament appearance in 2017 after winning the Sun Belt Conference tournament. He's got over a decade of head coaching experience and has been involved in college basketball for several decades. The good news? He's got a solid resume. The bad news? He's 80 and 111 overall, with a 42% winning percentage. That one good season in 6 years at Troy, where he made the tournament and finished 131st, is nice, but failing to crack the top 254 out of 6 years doesn't inspire much confidence in his upside. I'd always be more inclined to take an upside unknown than a retread at the same level. What are we doing here? 36, Doug Davenport, Bellarmine. Davenport began his coaching career in 2010 as a graduate assistant at Xavier. By 2012, he joined Louisville as the director of video operations. He was hired as an assistant coach at Eastern Kentucky in 2015 before returning to his alma mater, Bellarmine, as an assistant in 2016. Heading into the 2022 season, he was named head coach in waiting. However, since taking over, the wheels have come off. Bellarmine finished 347th last year, 316th the year before, and 262nd 3 years ago. That's not a good trend, and his exposure to coaching outside of his father, whom he played for and coached under for 9 years, is pretty limited. 37th, Luke McConnell, St. Francis. Moving to D3, I don't think there's much to say here. All right, that's a wrap for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you got some good insights. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who'd find it useful. And don't forget to check out theresourcenexus.com for more in-depth analysis. Until next time, check you later.
Cool. Guess we'll see you around.
All right, check you later.
Bye.
Wait, man, why are you always such a dork, man?
What are you talking
Check you
about?
later. Check you later.